My Little Pony is owned by DHX Media and Hasbro Studios. Please support the official release. Hello YouTube, this is T-Sparks here. Wanted to talk about the latest episode. This is your spoiler warning. This will have spoilers for episode 13 of season 7. And they are huge spoilers. So if you do not want to be spoiled on this, don't listen to this little review. I'll give you 10 seconds to leave. Alright, that's good enough. Well, I just wanted to make a quick video about this episode. It is so much better than I ever expected it to be. The way they portrayed Applejack's parents were some of the best I've seen in this series. It seemed to be the most natural romance in the show. Every other romance we've seen besides the Cakes, and I don't know, maybe even Shining Armor and Cadence, they were all very forced. Big Mac and Cheerlead, love potion. And, you know, the CMC trying to push Big Mac on Sugar Belle, that was a little bit much too. But that one is actually my favorite besides Applejack's parents. But anyway, it felt so natural that like they were real ponies, like they were real people. It made you feel so sad just watching it because you know their fate in the end. The show did not tell us specifically that they're dead, but I think we can all infer that from the language in the episode. They clearly stated it many times. When Applejack said, "You knew our mother," and when they said, "They left us something to remember him by." That is clearly what they're pointing at there. There is no way that they're alive but gone. They are gone. They are dead. And it's sad, but it is reality. A lot of people lose parents and family members. I lost my mom in 2013. But I am a full, I was 25 at the time, so it's not as big a deal as a kid losing their mother. And I must admit we weren't nearly as close as some families are. But last year, I did almost lose my dad. He got cancer and didn't tell me about it until he was in the hospital. I couldn't afford to fly home and see him, but fortunately he pulled through. I'm just saying that this episode, it hit very hard for me. As soon as Applejack's mom started singing that song, I was crying. Literally. Out of control. This has got to be my favorite episode of the series so far. And I know a lot of you got hit pretty hard by this too. I know Silicon Brony, or whatever he's called now, his reaction was the most heartbreaking of them all I've seen so far. This episode was just something special. I was hoping DHX would not just bring them parents back and say, oh, they were just busy adventuring somewhere. I think that cheapens Applejack's character. And her character's already been hurt enough this season. This episode just felt so real. And I just wanted to make a quick video about it and post my thoughts on it. Now let's talk about Applejack's parents. Her mother, Pear Butter. She is just the cutest thing I've ever seen. That hair of hers. And the way she acted with Bright Mac when he blew the flowers in her hair. She just laughed it off. And the guitar bit. It was just so lovely. And Bright Mac, he is a heck of a character. You can definitely see where Big Mac gets his personality from. His is just a little bit more reserved than Bright Mac's was. Apple Bloom definitely got his hair. And Applejack got his coat color. I really wish we could have seen some more of their parents. how about that's a scene where, just after Applejack was born, or Big Mac? That would be something incredible. They might do that down the line. I don't know what their plans are for the next season. But it was really nice the way they treated them with such respect. They didn't make them seem like just a cheap character they threw together. They put some effort into this. They put some critical thought into this. They went as far as they could for a TVY show to let us know what really happened to the parents. They are never going to state canonically that they're dead. I'm convinced 100% on that. Because it's TVY. They can't even show two mayors together and say that they're friends. Because, that's unacceptable. But, that's just the age we live in right now. Things are changing fast. And kids are a lot smarter than people give them credit for. You can tell them all they want that these two are just friends. But they're smart enough to know if there's something more there. Bon Bon and Lyra are the only ones in the show that we have considered to be a couple. And a lot of it was just speculation and jumping to conclusions. But Season 5 kind of changed that a bit, in a way. But enough about them. Applejack's parents are some of the best parents I've seen in the show. Rainbow's parents were a bit over the top, and I love them, but the way they acted was just a little bit too much. And I find it a little hard to believe that Rainbow didn't talk to him about this over the past decade, but that's another video for another time. So, this episode seems to have cemented the fact that Applejack does not have parents anymore. And that is something I think will actually help Applejack's character. I felt a real bond between the siblings in this episode. They've always had a strong bond before, but Big Mac always seemed like he was just left behind a bit. And this episode just made it so much more like Big Mac is a part of the family. When he asked Smoked Oak if he could come back and ask for more stories about his parents, that was a powerful scene. I really would like to know what happened to their parents, but in a way, it's okay that we don't. We know they're gone, and we know it was sudden, because none of the siblings know much about them. I have my own theory that they died shortly after Apple Bloom was born. That Big Mac was around 10, and Applejack was 5. Just for the theory that Applejack doesn't remember anything about her parents. And Apple Bloom obviously doesn't know anything about them. Big Mac would know the most, but I can understand them not knowing much personally about their parents. I've had parents for 38 years, and I can tell you what music Dad likes, but that's about it. We weren't very close. And Mom, well, I don't know. We were never really close either. I was number 7 of 8. So, parental stuff with me was a little bit complicated. But anyway, enough about me. I would just like to thank DHX and Hasbro for not chickening out on this episode. They did everything they could to make this respectful and beautiful. There are a few problems with the episode, I must admit. I had a problem with the foals talking like they were freaking teenagers, and somehow he remembered calling her Buttercup 15 years later. That's the only problem I had with the episode. And I actually can buy that they didn't ask about this for all these years. when there's something like this in your past, you kind of just put it to the back burner and you think about it every now and then, but you try not to think about it and you just end up filing it away. But then something happens that makes you want to know more about it. I don't know if I got that, gonna get that moment when we lose Dad or not, but I don't know. I have no idea how my parents met, and I don't know if I ever will. But this show has such a way of touching me personally that I just thankful every day that it's here. And I want to give a shout out to Luffy and Capron. Say, sorry for your losses there. I can't say I know what it's like, but I have gone through a similar loss. Although Mom was not out of the blue. She had been sick for a very long time. So I knew it was going to happen. But you're never prepared for that kind of thing. So I think this episode treated it quite well. And I just wanted to leave my notes on that. And if I come across any similar points to any of you that are actually coming up with your own reviews on this, I'm sorry if I corrupted your notes or something. It's just something I came up with. I don't actually script these videos. I just do it off the top of my head. So if I did anything you said, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you to anyone that actually watched my video. And thank you, DHX, for your beautiful episode. And I hope we see more from Applejack's parents in the future. I know they're not going to show us what happened, but how about some flashbacks about when Big Mac was just a foal, or when Applejack was born? That would be something incredible to see. Now we have seen every one of the main six's parents, but there is still one parent set that we have not heard anything about yet. Starlight's. I don't know if we ever will, and a lot of people I know hate her, but I happen to love Starlight Glimmer, and I'd like to know what her parents were like. Did they really not give her support? Because that would explain why she never got over Sunburst. If they never supported her, if they were just too busy working or something, that would explain why she got so bitter. And Scootaloo's parents, all we know is that she does not have supportive parents. I don't know if DHS is going to go any farther with that. They went pretty far with this episode, so it's possible we'll see that again in the future. I don't know, but I'm glad they touched upon it. Well, that's about it for this rambling session here. And I just want to say to all of you out there, I wouldn't trade this fandom for anything. And please support the official release. And don't forget, they make the perfect pair. Bye.